Tonight, farmers raise concerns about the future of agriculture, and Broken Hill Footy League doing its bit to lift the stigma of mental health.
With the latest from around the region, your nightly news with Louise Hedger begins now.
A university study has raised concerns for South Australia's farming future as recent findings reveal droughts are becoming more severe. Local farmers say that these dry conditions are changing the future of agriculture across the region.
It's the rain we've all been wanting. The University of South Australia researchers say this week's wet weather is not enough. A new study revealing droughts in SA are becoming more severe.
The large-scale oscillations that we see in our weather patterns that occur every 10 years or so around droughts, they're intensifying.
Farmers across the region say they're adapting their practices to these dry conditions, but are worried for the future.
I'm more knowledgeable now to withstand it, if you know what I mean. Like, we prepare for more of a drought. You won't be able to keep up with feeding everything, and a lot of money and time go into all of that.
Eddie Hughes says this research is crucial.
We are in a drying period in South Australia, and in fact in southern Australia, and it's going to get worse.
Professor Beecham is concerned for the next generation in farming.
That rainfall pattern is going to get actually worse because of climate change or because of these increased frequencies of droughts. That makes it even more challenging.
Researchers say Adelaide is the driest capital city in Australia, and action needs to be taken to save South Australia's future in farming. And there's still hope for more rain.
This little bit of rain that we've just had, even though we've had a good drinking, if we don't get follow-up rains up there, it's going to dry up.
Well, I think we've got to support our farmers, and there are things that we can do. We should be, as a state, putting far more into research and development.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Broken Hill football returns this weekend with an important round raising awareness for men's mental health. The How's Your Mate round aims to show local footy players that it's okay to ask for help if they're going through a tough time.
Doing their bit to combat men's mental health. Lifeline, in partnership with AFL Broken Hill and the Australian Institute of Sport, aiming to break down men's mental health barriers. This weekend of local footy is the How's Your Mate round, encouraging blokes to not only look at their own well-being, but the well-being of their mates.
What this round's about is aimed at those young males, those 18, 19, 20-year-olds, those in their early 20s that, if they need a hand, there are people out there they can talk to.
Lifeline says there is still a stigma when it comes to men talking about mental health. But with AFL players like Port Adelaide's Matthew Broadbent announcing this week he was taking a break from the game with mental health issues, the organisation says the message is getting through.
We're starting to see lots of these high-profile sports people come out and actually identify and acknowledge that, they've gone through their own personal struggles and that without the support, they wouldn't have been able to get through.
Suicide statistics remain alarmingly high. 8 Australians commit suicide every day, 6 of them are men. More than 7 suicides are attempted every hour. Athletes from the Australian Institute of Sport will be holding a session at the YMCA tonight to share their own stories of mental health and try and reduce the number of suicide deaths.
Just constantly checking in with your family members, with your friends, I think is really important. And if you are dealing with something, it's okay not to be okay. And it's a strength, not a weakness, to admit that you need help.
The meet and greet starts at 7 o'clock. If you or anyone else needs support, contact Lifeline on 13 11 14. Patrick Ryanke, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Yorke Peninsula singer and songwriter Kiara Mercer has represented Australia in the Trans-Tasman Entertainer of the Year, the teenager taking home an exciting award.
A gifted singer with a newfound passion for guitar, Kiara Mercer showcasing her love for country music on the world stage. The country girl from the Copper Coast dreaming big, taking home an encouragement award from the Norfolk Island Country Music Association.
I headed off to the Norfolk Island Country Music Festival, obviously in Norfolk Island, and competed in the Trans-Tasman Entertainer of the Year Awards.
Influenced by country music at a young age, Kiara wasn't hesitant to share her voice.
My grandpa used to sing a lot of country music as well, and it was just all through my childhood, so I think it was inevitable that I was going to end up in country music.
Taking out last year's Borough Country Music Scholarship, Kiara had a unique opportunity to study at the Academy of Country Music in Tamworth.
It was a huge achievement and a compliment to her career choice.
And now she hopes to see more younger faces joining her and picking up the guitar.
Country music can be whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be, you know, the standard Johnny Cash or Dolly Parton. You know, it's a whole new ballgame.
Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Organisers of the Silverton Sunsets Music Festival say they're excited to have dates locked in for 2020. The 3-day event has been a big drawcard for the historic mining town.
Planning's already underway for a popular festival.
Early March, very excited. 6th, 7th and 8th. Put it in your diary right now.
The Silverton Sunsets Music Festival will return in 2020 after what was a successful show earlier this year. More than 1,000 people attended this year's event over the 3 days, with 700 of those on the Saturday night.
The two we've had have been fantastic. We've had a great lineup of artists in John Williamson and Troy Cassadale, and that will continue.
It starts on a Friday night with a bush dance to commence festivities. Saturday is when the highlight of the event takes place.
The 12 hours of pure, beautiful, relaxing music all day with a variation of probably we're looking at about 14 artists this year.
On Sunday, some of the artists will go acoustic in the Silverton Chapel, providing festival goers with the chance to ask questions for a more intimate performance. Then the hotel will host the closing show. And it's not just music lovers from across the region attending, the festival has gained national notoriety.
You can go up into Queensland, right around the coast, over to Sale in Victoria. We've had people come up from Tassie, and we've had a group booked in already from Tassie this year. They're coming to it next year.
Mr Price says a list of performing artists for next year's show will be released soon. At the same time, tickets will go on sale. Patrick Royenke, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The Clare and Gilbert Valley Council is seeking community input for its 10-year strategic plan. It's hoping to develop a better understanding of what the public values most. The plan will outline Council's vision from 2020, looking at the future of economical, social and environmental developments throughout the region. A public survey can be accessed online on the Council's website. All entries will remain anonymous. Still to come tonight, we visit students getting hands-on experience outside of the classroom, and the search is on for the next Tuner Armour ambassador. Welcome back. Senior students at John Eyre High School are undertaking a construction program as part of their research projects. Teachers say it gives them hands-on experience and is a gateway subject into TAFE.
Working hard to earn their SACE points, these students are learning by doing.
SACE programs are automotive, construction, engineering and electrotech boys, so it's those that are on a trade-based pathway.
They're required to work with a TAFE lecturer 3 days a week, and students say it's a way to gain hands-on learning while building some unique items.
It's a barbecue, it's made out of rims, so we've got 4 rims and the 4 ones here.
The plumbing to the bottom of the sink and to the tap, so that way I can actually use the hot water and the cold water system from home.
Teachers say it's a specialised program to get as much as they can out of their final years of schooling.
It's almost like it's a first year apprenticeship, I suppose, and they get to show their hands-on skills.
Students are also required to display team building skills, working together to combine their trades.
I've had help in the carpentry section to help out a few of them boys. It's a good bunch of boys, different trades.
And there's a future project in the works for the group.
Starting on the hospitality trailer, which will be pretty interesting because not many people have done anything like that before.
Really looking forward to the hospitality trailer being finished. I think that's just something very unique that's going to come from this program, and that's going to continue to be shown throughout the region.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The hunt is on in Port Lincoln to crown the next Tuner Armour ambassador, with some entries already in. Organisers are encouraging anyone interested to get in quick to secure a spot.
The silver crown these entrants all hoping to wear, a chance to represent Port Lincoln in the annual Tuner Armour Festival.
Very exciting. We're planning some different things this year, hoping to go away from the more traditional things and include some different memories for the entrance going into the future.
4 local women have already applied as the search begins for the next Armour ambassador, entrants requiring to fundraise for a chosen charity.
So I've chosen the Royal Flying Doctor Service. And so far I've had a huge amount of support from the local auxiliary.
I've chosen Red Cross. I've just become a volunteer with them this year and seen all the great community things they're doing.
But organisers say it's not all about fundraising. The ambassador also needs to show a strong commitment to the coastal town and festival. Belinda says she wants to use this opportunity to help give back to her community.
I went through a bit of a hard time the last sort of 12 months and I decided it's about time I did something for other people. Time to give something back.
Anyone interested in applying can visit the Armour office. Nathan Richter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Coffin Bay Shopping is about to get a major upgrade with the approval of a supermarket to be developed on the Esplanade. The centre will house an IGA, Celebrations liquor store, cafe and a hardware store. The current general store will be demolished to make way for a car park. Developers hope to finish construction by the beginning of December, just in time for the Christmas rush. The Lower Eyre Peninsula could soon be home to South Australia's best restaurant, with 3 businesses recognised as finalists in this year's Restaurant Catering Awards. Port Lincoln's Line and Label nominated for 4 categories.
Could this restaurant soon be crowned one of the best in Australia? Port Lincoln's Line and Label is well on its way as a finalist in this year's Catering Awards.
It's a really stiff competition, so even to make the finalists, I'm really proud of everyone, and we'll do our best to fly the flag for Eyre Peninsula and particularly Port Lincoln.
Today are familiar faces in the kitchen helping to produce a degustation lunch for diners, inspired by the spices and flavours of the Middle East.
Doing a beautiful lunch today, which is going to be fantastic, highlighting the region's most beautiful produce, and I've got to say, some of the best in Australia, if not the best.
The ingredients going into today's lunch locally sourced right from the doorstep. The restaurant aiming to connect and educate customers on understanding where their food comes from.
It's a reconnection back to nature as well, and connection back to the land. Knowing where your food comes from is probably my #1 piece of advice if you want to be healthy.
In here, the restaurant grows their own micro-herbs, from basil, coriander, even mustard wasabi. Team members say it's the local sustainable ingredients that make their restaurant second to none.
We've got over 400 fruit trees for our orchard and about 80 garden beds now. So literally it is the freshest produce we can get, and I think that is definitely our unique selling point.
The South Australian Restaurant and Catering Awards will be announced next month. Nathan Richter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. The Port Augusta Greyhound Club prepares for its last race meet, and Brit will have the weekend weather. Hello again. The Port Augusta Greyhound Club is urging locals to head down to the track for its second last race meet ever. The free event will begin at 1 o'clock on the 29th of June and will feature a number of races, a barbecue as well as a jumping castle for the kids. It comes months after the club made the tough call to end the dog races at the end of this year after dwindling nomination numbers. This year's Ritchie Marathon is just weeks away and organisers are calling for registrations for the event. It will feature 4 separate legs of the route, including the gruelling 42-kilometre climb through the Ritchie Pass. All ages and abilities are encouraged to either run, jog or walk. The marathon will take place on the 30th of June and registrations close on the 27th. Now let's hear from the experts with the weekend footy tips.
Hello and welcome to round 7 at SGL football. This round starts with Central hosting the Lions at Port Augusta Central Oval on Saturday. I'm tipping the Lions. Imperial on Saturday as Soli's taking on South. These two sides have built up a healthy rivalry and this should be a tough match. I'm tipping South. On Sunday in Port Augusta, it's Port who travel to take on West. Port are still searching for their first win of the season in what has been a disappointing start for the Green and Whites. West will be looking for a win to shore up their spot in the top 4. I'm tipping West in a tight one.
Welcome to round 7 of Port Lincoln Footy Tips. We kick things off at Centenary Oval where Lincoln South are hosting Mallee Park. Lincoln South are struggling at the moment, so I'm tipping Mallee Park to win this one, and unfortunately for Lincoln South, I'm tipping them to win by more than 10 goals. In the next game, we've got Boston's hosting Waybacks at Poole Oval. Boston's had their first win of the season last round. However, Waybacks are strong. They're going to get over the line here and win this one by 5 goals. In the last game, and match of the round, we got Marble Range hosting Tasmans out at Wongaree. Tasmans are undefeated, and even though they're without their coach, I still think they're going to be too strong. I'm tipping Tasmans win this one, but win this one in a close game. 3 goals.
Round 6 of football in Broken Hill is the most important round of the year so far. Match of the day at Jubilee Oval. West plays South. Both teams have only lost the 1 game for the year. This is for top spot. South are the reigning champion. West have recruited very aggressively, coming hard. I'm tipping West to beat South tomorrow at Jubilee Oval. In the other game, North plays Central. North have got 2 wins for the season. Central yet to open their account. If the Magpies in Central want to play finals footy this year, they have to win this game on their home ground. I don't think they'll do it. I believe the Bulldogs will win and they'll book themselves a final spot, while I think West will beat South in what promises to be the round of the year.
With the weekend weather, here's Britt.
Thank you, Louise, and good evening. It's been a mild day across the region. Port Augusta with a top of 19 degrees. Port Lincoln experienced some showers with a top of 18. Whyalla, Broken Hill and Port Pirie also 18. Adelaide 17. A high pressure ridge sat over the north of South Australia today and will persist there for the next few days as a series of troughs pass over southern parts. On the waters tomorrow, northerly winds tending northwesterly with seas at 1.5 metres and sunrise is due at 22 minutes past 7. Port Augusta, Whyalla and Woodna all expecting a partly cloudy Saturday with tops of 18. Port Lincoln rain and 17. Coffin Bay and Adelaide both with showers and 17. 17 also the lucky number at Broken Hill, Port Pirie, Cleve and Kadina, all looking fine and partly cloudy. Corn with morning fog, a top of 16. Clare 15. And the wet weather will continue at Port Lincoln through the weekend and into next week, maximums remaining mostly consistent at 17 degrees. Cleve tops of 17 through till Monday, a little cooler on Tuesday but remaining fine. Fine conditions ahead at Woodna also with maximums in the late teens. Whyalla looking partly cloudy Sunday and Monday, both with tops of 18. Showers expected on Tuesday. Port Augusta remaining fine but cooling down into the next week. Kadina with showers Sunday and Tuesday, remaining mostly fine on Monday. Port Pirie and Clare both remaining partly cloudy through the weekend and into Monday, but with showers expected on Tuesday. Broken Hill looking fine, a top of 17, Sunday, Monday 18, Tuesday 15 degrees. And Louise, that's all from me. Enjoy your weekend.
Thanks for that, Britt. We'll leave you tonight with the highlights of the indoor soccer final between the teachers of Williama High School and their Year 10 students. Nothing could split the sides at full time. The teachers winning in golden goal though and getting their bragging rights at least until Monday. We hope you have a lovely weekend. Our team will be back next week. Good night.